Hi, friends. So today we celebrate the life and the memory of Saint Silouan of Mount Athos. Here's an icon of him. Saint Silouan of Mount Athos lived in the 20th century. He died in the mid 20th century, and he was from a village in Russia. And as a young man, he decided to go to Mount Athos to become a monk. He came from a very simple peasant background and lived in the monastery of Saint Pantaleimon, which is the Russian monastery on Mount Athos. And if it weren't for the encounter that he had, or that was had with him, by Father now Saint Sophrony of Essex, who then became his spiritual son, we probably wouldn't know very much about him. He lived almost in complete obscurity in this monastery. Very little was known about him until Father Sophrony met him and discovered his holiness and ended up writing a very big book about his life, which is this book called St. Silouan the Athonite, in which he also collected his teachings. But I think there's some really relevant teachings and stories about St. Silouan and his relationship with his father that would be relevant for us as parents. His father was an illiterate peasant farmer from Russia. He could barely read and write, and sometimes he would even make mistakes in reciting the Our Father, St. Silouan says. But there are some beautiful stories. Like, for example, one story was when St. Silouan was a young man, and he ended up falling into sin with a woman from the village. And after he had come back from his evening escapade, the next morning, as he and his father were working together, his father said to him quietly, "Where were you last night, son? My heart was troubled for you." And then St. Silouan remarks, about this incident, Father Sophrony remarks, the mild words sank into Simeon's soul. Silouan was Simeon at the time, into Simeon's soul, and in later life, when he recalled his father, the starets would say, quote, "I have never reached my father's stature. He was absolutely illiterate. He even used to make mistakes in the Lord's Prayer, which he had learned by listening in church, but he was a man who was gentle and wise." So many things, many stories. Actually, there's another story about when St. Silouan was preparing some food for the family. It says they were a large family, father, mother, 5 sons, and 2 daughters, all living in affection together. The elder boys worked with their father. One Friday they were out harvesting, and it was Simeon's turn to cook the midday meal. Forgetting that it was Friday, he prepared a dish of pork for their lunch, and they all ate of it. 6 months later, note that, 6 months later, on a feast day in winter, Simeon's father turned to him with a gentle smile and said, "Son, do you remember how you gave us pork to eat that day in the fields? It was a Friday. I ate it, but you know it tasted like carrion." "Why ever didn't you tell me at the time?" asked Simeon. "I didn't want to upset you, son." Recalling such incidents from his life at home, the starets, or the elder, would add, "That is the sort of starets, or elder, I would like to have. He never got angry, was always even-tempered and humble. Just think, he waited 6 months for the right moment to correct me without upsetting me." So may we have the prayers of St. Silouan to have the same mildness and gentleness and love in relation to our children, to always choose the gentle path and the loving path, even when we have to correct and reprove, and to restrain our tongues and our actions from being overly angry or upset with our children. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.